okay, I said we get to this. I want to know what happened with Eugenio Suárez. A 1-year, $15 million deal with a mutual option for next year. It feels to me like this just reeks of a Detroit Tiger type contract. So, are the Tigers not interested? Were the Tigers not interested in Eugenio Suárez to come in and play third base for them? Were the Tigers a player here? Were they not a player here? Were they snubbed? Like, did they offer Suarez the same contract and he chose Cincinnati? Because right now the Tigers have a better chance of being a postseason team than Cincinnati. Tigers have the most wins projected in their division. Cincinnati is behind Chicago and Milwaukee in their division. So if he was looking for a place to win, this could be it. Now the strikeout numbers are big, and maybe that's what they didn't want. Maybe they fully are like, Colt Keith is going to be our third baseman, and we're perfectly comfortable with that. I want a team that has Skubal while we still have Skubal. I'm not against trading him, but if they can't find the trade that they want, I want them to do something to win it while we still have him. And here's something that I'm kind of getting sick of saying. Well, at least they're maintaining flexibility come the trade deadline. I've been saying that for 2-3 years. Okay? Now, I'm not mad about trades you don't make because you don't know what deals were made and what weren't made. This reeks of a Tiger contract.
Yeah, there's a big difference between trades that you make or don't make and free agency that you just don't even get involved in. And I never once heard the Tigers' name being mentioned with Suarez during the offseason here with free agency. Doesn't mean that they weren't, but I never once saw a report that, hey, Tigers, Cubs, Red Sox, and Reds are all interested in signing Suarez. I didn't once see the Tigers mentioned. And for a player where there was a lot of smoke around at the trade deadline last year, and of course that would cost players. And we kept talking about, hey, would you give up so-and-so to Lane? Would you give up Max Anderson and, these guys and this pitcher to acquire Suarez? And we're like, yeah, I think I would. And the Tigers didn't make a move. And I would imagine that the asking price back then from Arizona was rather large. And Arizona ended up getting a decent package from Seattle. And we kind of said, okay, fair enough. Not going to pay that. But when he signs a 1-year deal for $15 million, and there's a mutual option, I think, for 16 next year.
Yeah.
That seems awfully cheap. And to your point, yeah, that's a Tiger contract. You wait things out, you hit the bargain bin, and you find out there's some really good bargains here. Here's Suarez. Why didn't they get involved?
Well, maybe they were. And they might have been. That's why I want answers.
Yeah, I hear you. And I want answers because I don't know, do guys who hit 49 home runs in a season fall off trees for $15 million a year in baseball?
They don't. And if they were simply, and this is why I want answers, if they were simply come out and say, we're not comfortable with adding that many strikeouts, I'd be like, okay, at least I know why.
Yeah, and it's a lot. And sure, it's like adding another Riley Green in the mix. Somebody hits for more power than Riley Green with all those strikeouts. He had 196 strikeouts last year. He strikes out a ton. There's no question about it. But he also hits the ball over the fence a ton. And what he's going to be asked to do in Cincinnati is basically be a DH with occasionally playing some third base. If the answer is, well, we really like Colt Keith at third, and we like the guys that are coming up, Max Anderson's going to get a chance to play, and we don't want to hold him back.
Lee is going to take up one of our spots.
Sure. Fair. Okay, great. Then what about you still have to add to this team? And it doesn't look like they're adding to the lineup with this team. It looks like if they're going to add anything else, there are some rumors out there that are still in on some pitching. That Framber Valdez might still be on their list of things to do. And there's a couple of other starting pitchers that are worth going after. But then you have to look at your own roster and say, there seems to be a little bit of a logjam with starting pitching for the Tigers. And hello, you still have this Tarek Skubal situation going on.
This is a team that's supposed to be a playoff team. Supposed to be a playoff team. And the Skubal situation, I can't believe that if he gets a 13 million more, if he gets a 32 million, we're not going to make a move. So we got to wait to see. And I'm like, do you have to wait and see? Do you? Because I'd hate to see them waste an opportunity while they still have Skubal. I don't know, man. I'm disappointed because that feels like a deal that could have made them better. And I'm getting to the point here with the whole idea of buying into them not wanting to spend money as a philosophy that limits how good they can be. And we get these calls all the time about ownership in sports, right? And they don't want to spend any money. Okay, got it. Yeah. But until they do, and when they do, you're like, okay, great. I'm willing to believe that Scott Harris hasn't seen a move he wanted to make yet, but I'm believing it less and less. And I mean, maybe they don't care about public perception and, we're going to be so good in the end because we hung on to our guys. But this is a move that would just cost money. It wouldn't cost you any guys.
That's it. It's all it is. And it's okay. Yeah. I mean, $15 million is a lot of money, but it's not in baseball.
Not in baseball.
Not in baseball.
It would be a shot of instilling some confidence. It very well may be the strikeouts. It very well may be. Hey, we've got a guy that we're worried, we strike out too much already, and so we didn't want to add somebody just like it. And I guess I'd just love to hear that. Love to hear that there is a reason why. And that would be, to me, an understandable reason. The Tigers are one of the teams that struck out the most in majors last year.
Well, I'm really curious to see how some of these players play this upcoming season, because are they either going to be what they are currently, what we see, or are they going to take a step forward, or are they going to take a step back? And two of those aren't very good when you look at either you're going to stay where you're at or if you take a step back. And I think there's when you look at Torkelson and Kerry Carpenter, I think these are two guys that have been productive with hitting the ball over the fence, and Carpenter is a more reliable hitter. But Torkelson, we've seen a couple years now, he's hit 30 home runs, and that's great, but there's nothing else there. And that's concerning because it's a position where you can get productive first baseman anywhere. And I hope that Tork ends up having a really good offensive season this year, because I'd like to think that he's a guy that they can count on for the future, and yet I'm not convinced of it just yet. And I don't think anybody else is either. What's the plan for the Tigers?
Karsch and Anderson, 97.1.